we have our next guest speaker, Tripp Hamilton. He's from Removem, from Angular SEM. He's a link specialist, or he will tell everything about it. Everybody say links are not that important. We'll have a look. Let's see. Okay, Tripp, how are you doing? How are you doing today?
Hey, I'm doing well. How about yourself, Anton?
Yeah, not too bad, not too bad. So it's a kind of marathon today. Okay, Tripp, basically it's all yours. Just go ahead.
All right, cool. Well, my name's Tripp. I work at Angular, and this is my guide to link analysis. I'll go ahead and share the screen. All right. So, as I said before, I work at Angular Search Marketing Innovations. We develop a couple tools. I've been working here for the past 3 years. Here's a little bio about me. I run the Removem product, which is the best backlink removal tool on the market. I'm also the director of the link removal department here at Angular. And pretty much I got my start here at Angular by just simply removing links. It was an entry-level job, but I quickly moved up the ranks, started analyzing the backlinks and just diving straight into SEO. And I haven't looked back since. But we have other tools such as SEO Alarms, Removem, one I'll be talking about today, InTopic, Pandarisk, and several others. But let's go ahead and move on. So really, the question is, why do you need to analyze your backlinks? There are several reasons why. I'll go over pretty much a couple of them. So the main reason would be that you have a manual penalty from Google for unnatural links. So you'll go into your Google Search Console account and you'll see a message in there, or you'll check your manual actions tab and it'll say partial or site-wide penalty. This is pretty bad news, but the good part about it is Google at least tells you about it, rather than, maybe you check AdWords or analytics one day and your traffic's tanked and there's no message from Google. Another reason would be previous SEO mischief. So maybe you hired a freelancer, or you had an in-house guy, or girl, anything like that. So, pre-2012, if you're building backlinks from directories and stuff like that, you may need to analyze your backlinks. Negative SEO is another big one. Since Penguin was released in 2012, negative SEO has really increased across the board for many websites. I have a couple websites that I currently analyze weekly and around monthly just to check for negative backlinks. Another reason would be to gauge your website's authority in search results. So back in the day, links were king, but now, links have taken, it's more of an oligarchy where, there's multiple things that Google looks at in terms of looking at optimization for your website. And to assess your website's risk for penalization is the last one. So really, you want to keep your website clear of penalty. You want to abide by Google and other search engines guidelines, so you don't get put in the penalty box. So you can keep that traffic coming to your website. So almost every search engine has denounced link spam in one form or the other. So Yandex, they had AGS filter in 2009. Google's Penguin algorithm. Bing released their webmaster guidelines shortly thereafter, and the most recent one is Yandex's Minnesence penalty in 2015. There's also a Penguin update that has been, I'll put quotes around it, confirmed by Gary at Google, and it should be coming within the next 2 to 3 months. So there is that to worry about, but if you're following the rules of every search engine, you really have nothing to worry about. But so how do you go about the process of analyzing backlinks? Step 1, you obtain some link data. Step 2, you apply a little SEO snake oil. And step 3, you're done. It's actually not that easy. It's actually a little bit more complicated. It's more time consuming than it is complicated, but it's actually not that difficult. So really the first step is you want to obtain some link data. You want to obtain the most that you can. So the most important place for this would be Google Search Console's latest links export. I have a little screenshot down here that shows, kind of the steps where you can go grab this information. It's pretty much just a list of URLs that Google has crawled that they say link to your website. The only bad part about this is in recent years, Google has become way less open with the data that they like to provide. So say you have 1 million links in Google Search Console. You're going to take an export, it's only going to be around 100,000. So that's 10% of what they say they have in their index. So, it may take a couple weeks to get all this data because you can keep taking exports and it's going to be a little bit different every time. Other places you can get linked data are Moz's Open Site Explorer, Ahrefs, and Majestic. All three of these are subscription based, but they both have free models where you can go in, put in your website, and look at the sort of link data that they have in their stores. So Moz, Ahrefs, and Majestic are going to have a little bit different link data than Google Search Console because they don't have as large of servers that they can dedicate to crawling the web, but they crawl different parts of the web and crawl it differently than Google, since Google doesn't really release how they crawl the web. There's also other tools such as Remove Them. We pull link data from a couple of these sources as well. It is also a subscription-based tool, and you can also use openlinkprofiler.org and webmeup.com. Both are free. You can get some link data from them, but I suggest using Google Search Console, most importantly, Moz, Ahrefs, and Majestic. Those are the four that I use for all of my backlink analyses, and that's what I've used to get all of our clients that have come to us out of penalty. So once you have this link data from whichever sources that you choose, you want to mash up the link data. So you want to get rid of duplicates, but the most important link data that you need are the referring page URLs, the link URLs, and the link anchors. I have a screenshot down here that shows Excel. It's mainly the tool I use for the brunt of the analysis, apart from the internet and a browser. But really, you just want the URL, your link URL, and anchor text, and you want to remove duplicates as well because a lot of these link data sources are going to have some crossover, so you don't want to go through the list and see the same page 5 or 6 different times. So once you've mashed up the link data, you want to check the links. And there's 2 ways to do this. Well, actually there's 3 ways. So I'll go over the first way, but really it's more of a manual way if you want to look at it page by page. That is the third way, but it's way more manual. And if you have 1 million backlinks, you're going to be spending 5 minutes per link, and that's a lot of time. Really, you want to work smarter, not harder. So really, you can use. I suggest using a crawler to do the tedious and manual labor, or you can use a server-based crawler as well. But really, you can use Control U or Command U to check the source code, check for no follows, dead hyperlinks, and stuff like that. So really, which crawler should you use? So like I said, there's server-based crawlers, then there's crawlers that you can have like as an app on your computer. So those app crawlers are like Screaming Frog or SEO Backlink Monitor. Both need lots of RAM to crawl large files, so if you have 1 million pages, it's going to take a good bit of time to crawl those 1 million pages. But if you use Remove Them or other server-based crawlers, they can automatically check for those. They crawl similar to Google, so they're just going to download the page, just pure HTML format. They're going to crawl it for the link, similar to what Screaming Frog and SEO Backlink Monitors do, but less wear and tear on your computer, doing all these processes. So I personally use the server-based crawler Remove Them because it checks for active links, checks for no follows, it finds contact data and IP address and anchor text as well. So now that you've crawled the link data, now that you've found which ones are live, which ones are no followed, links and all that, really, what do you do now? So the next process is to analyze the links. So a lot of people have tended to use automated link analysis. So, this is definitely a method if you have a ton of backlinks and really would just want to get through them just to see what's good and bad. The pros, yeah, it's quick and easy. It's typically not all that pricey, but most of them require a subscription. Cons, so it can be inaccurate. A lot of the lists that I've gotten from clients from places such as Link Research Tools and other services similar, I've found that a lot of good links are marked as bad. So like DMOZ and Best of the Web, BOTW, have been marked as bad backlinks. And for what it is, DMOZ and Best of the Web have a lot of trust. They're moderated by editors, so not anyone can just go in there and add a link. So directories and links, on like Business Insider and stuff like that might get caught in a filter by an automated analysis. So I'm one to promote manual analysis. So, most of these links were created by humans, so really they should be analyzed by humans as well. That's not the case for every link. A lot of negative SEO is done by just a script that someone's made that automatically posts comments on blogs that link back to a website. So, that script was made by a human, so it still needs to be analyzed. So, and I've always said that there's no better tool in the world than the human eye and brain. We're very analytical creatures. We can find those patterns. We can see what other SEOs do. And I find it pretty much a lot of fun to kind of rework the methodology that the past SEO did to try to get the website to rank. So really, how is it done? How do you do it manually? I said before, you want to look for patterns. SEO in and of itself is done kind of lazily. Pre-2012, people did a lot of the same things. So linking in directories, on posting articles, bookmark sites. You can look at URL structure. So maybe someone had an article and they're like, well, this article's great. Let's just share it all over the place. And a lot of times it has the same URL structure. So it'll be, my great article, / whatever. And you can find a lot of those and just kind of sweep those away. Additionally, domain names, there's like Articles Factory, SEO Friendly Directory, PR, Bookmark, just have the word link in it. Those are pretty good indicators of low quality websites that were used and abused for SEO purposes. Page layout's another one. A lot of these SEO friendly directories, they just use the same template and just put a different color scheme. And the last one is IP addresses. So a lot of people, they'll have a link network, but they're all on the same IP address. They're all hosted at the same place. So you can go ahead and sweep those out as well. So I have a couple examples of these directories and article sites as well. A lot of the layouts are the same. You're going to have, add URL listing. You're going to have, sponsors up here, home, submit. Submit's a big red flag. So if anyone can go in here and submit a link, typically not a great place to have a link. And they have all these categories as well. So a lot of these directories took a page out of DMOZ and they have made their websites to look sort of like DMOZ, but in their own, vein. So let's move on to the next example. So we got article site. So you can just see right here, all the red text. Submit your high quality original articles. Yeah, so not a great place to have a link. easyinarticles.com. And pretty much the reason for this is anyone can go in here and post an article. And a lot of times in backlink analyses that I perform, I've found that it's not just one article on this website. It's 25, it's 50 articles. So that's, 50 links coming from this one website with optimized anchor text. And, for a Google spam team member to just look at that, all they have to look at is the domain name. And they're like, oh, well, they've been using article marketing to try to drive traffic to their website. So another big red flag for Google and other search engines. Other examples of link spam, as I said before, like blog comments with optimized links in the post or signature. Also on forums, people can create forum profiles and they will link back to the website. Widely distributed links in footers or templates, also in blog rolls and stuff like that that just appear site-wide. Typically, they have optimized anchor text, so keyword specific. Syndicated articles or press releases with optimized anchor text. So a lot of times these article websites, they have partnerships with other low-quality websites, and those websites will take the content from the article site or press release site, copy it to their site verbatim, and copy it across all of their websites. So, you may start with the article here, but it could get syndicated to 20 other places. And that's also another big red flag. Paid advertisements that pass PageRank. So advertisements that appear like a Google ad or something like that, but they have, a followed link. Maybe it has optimized anchor text. Another example of this would be a widget that you have. So say you're an email marketing company and you have a form to fill out, and then at the bottom it says, best email marketing company or something like that. That's another pretty big red flag, because this widget could get shared across thousands of websites, and then you have thousands of links with that anchor text. And then that kind of makes your website out of whack in terms of anchor text optimization, and that's another big red flag for Google. The last thing is excessive link exchanges. So, you contact website A and you're like, hey, I'll link to you if you link to me. And if you do that for 100 websites on their /links page, another big red flag for Google. And all of these can be found in Google's link schemes post. So you can just type in Google link schemes, Google that, and you can find that post, and it lists a lot of these things as well. So really, when you're looking for bad links, you also want to look out for good links. So what makes a link good? 3 things: context, relevance, and quality. So really you want, if you're selling pet food, you want links on maybe someone who loves dogs or someone who loves cats or something like that. You want to link there, rather than, you're selling pet food and your links on a website about, I don't know, sports or something like that. So you also have other good websites like Forbes, Business.com, Business Insider. Like I said, human edited directories like DMOZ, Best of the Web, and Joant. I've seen a lot of these disavowed in the past because people don't know about them. I like to educate people that even though some directories were abused, there are good directories. Some of those are also local directories that pass citations, so that posts like name of the business, phone number, and their location that has a map. So those can also be pretty good, especially when you want to rank locally. And other ones are like social media, Pinterest, Facebook, and Twitter. Other ones like Flickr. The main one I've seen disavowed in the past is Pinterest. They have a lot of location-specific Pinterest subdomains that people don't understand. So like pt.pinterest.com, people are like, oh, well, why is my link there? And they automatically disavow it because they don't know. But it is still Pinterest, even though it is a location-specific subdomain. And you want to keep those links and the link juice passing through to your website. So now that you've analyzed the links, what's the next step? You want to remove the bad links. So you can use just your email for this. You can find people's information through Whois, so a domain registrar lookup. A lot of websites have contact forms, maybe emails listed on there. Or you can use a tool to help you automate it. So I'm going to, shameless plug, remove them. It pulls that contact data from Whois, pulls contact forms, and it scrapes for email addresses on the website. And we provide a bevy of templates that you can use to outreach to webmasters as well. So rather than, typing up an email, for 100 links that you need to remove from 100 different websites, you can use this tool to automate it. Now there's other tools out there such as RMove. So really it's whichever looks good to you, whichever interface is, works for you and whichever is easiest to use. So a lot of times you can't remove all the bad links. A lot of times people will ask for ransoms. A lot of times people won't even respond. Maybe they'll respond and be like, well, you know, my website's good. I'm not going to remove the link. You can just disavow me. So for those people, you disavow them. Disavow the remaining links. So, you know, articlemarketing.com, you want to disavow it. Forbes.com, don't disavow it. Not a good idea. And like I said before, most webmasters won't respond, and this is kind of stuff I went over before. Outright refusals, ransoms, broken contact forms, and stuff like that.